I'm a Ninjago fan and I've watched Dragons Rising. Now, I'll be reading off a script so that I don't go off topic since I speak more concisely when I write than when I speak. In case you guys are not aware, I have made a Ninjago video on my channel before this one right here. This video was on 𝐢𝐥. What if when Nia fused herself with the ocean, she became golden like Lloyd? Since then, I haven't made another Ninjago video simply because Ninjago as a topic didn't go far at that time, regardless of how cool and amazing the series actually is, hands down. But thanks to the Light reboot spin-off and 𝐶BLUME.
This is 𝐶BLUME, a YouTuber who recently joined the Ninjago fandom, reacting to all the episodes right from the very beginning. Some of us have time to waste, I guess.
Daddy, chill.
This also gave Astrix the chance to indirectly rewatch all the episodes once cherished during his childhood.
Here's a little background history. When did I start watching Ninjago? I started watching Ninjago in grade 4 to 5, I think. At the same time, I started watching Cartoon Network on PSTV. At that time, I was solo in Nickelodeon and Disney Channel, but later in my life, my younger brother got addicted to Cartoon Network and wouldn't let me change the channel, like you guys can relate. I discovered Ninjago across that line. At that time, season 3 was what I'd heard, so I started with season 3 but never finished the season, and then I didn't watch parts of season 4 because it felt weird to me as a child. Then officially became a fan after giving Ninjago a second chance when season 5 aired. Season 5 was the major season that got me hooked to the franchise. Since season 5, I had seen every episode onto the Oni trilogy, I think. I had seen every episode onto the Oni trilogy. I thought that's when Ninjago originally ended until I saw a strange episode on Cartoon Network. And guess what? That strange episode was season 11. So this made me think, okay, I definitely have to rewatch everything, like start from scratch. So I searched from the beginning to the ends of the universe. Discord. And got all the episodes from season 1 to 11 and decided to start the show as fresh in, I think, 2020. But what I didn't know is that by the time I got to season 11, season 13 was already out. So I watched all the episodes up to Hands of Time and waited for the anticipated 𝐶-bound to get released before watching season 12 and 13. I watched the Ninjago movie on an airplane in Singapore in grade 6, forgot to add that. That was like more than 6 years ago now that I think about it.
There's no movie in Ba Sing Se.
But I enjoyed it regardless. It was so fun, and I can guess from this video title, I've also watched Dragons Rising. Actually watched it 2 to 3 months ago and decided to main this topic for this video. So now that you know I've watched Ninjago, let's speed run a few questions.
Who is your favorite ninja?
There is the ship ninja.
Do you like season 7 and 11?
Season 7 felt weird, but I love season 11.
Revenge!
Hashtag revenge!
What do you think about Harumi?
I think Lila when I think Harumi.
Thoughts on Mr. E?
You didn't know that Mr. E was actually supposed to be 𝐖𝐢𝐥.
Thoughts on 𝐤𝐈, Narakan and season 6?
𝐤𝐈 is a better version of 𝐸𝐥. Narakan is Unalak from Kura. I don't know really.
What are your thoughts on Crystallize?
I would have loved the season if I had never watched Ninjago before.
I shall have my revenge! Wild Braid or Whale Fame?
I'm sorry, but I like Wild Braid better.
Are you crazy?
What's your favorite whip?
Temporal whip.
If you're a ninja, what ninja would you be?
I'm already a ninja.
Slay!
Now that the speedrun is over, let's talk about my thoughts on each episode of Dragons Rising. Yeah. As of the time recording this video, only part 1 of Dragons Rising is out, as well as the first part 2 teaser showing a red genie. Episode 1, The Merge Part 1. This was definitely a unique way to start a season. It's kind of like Teenage Mutant Ninja episodes after the mutagen bomb went off. It isn't a linear arc, but rather an arc broken down into separate pieces across the new series. I kind of like that. Episode 2, The Merge, Part 2. The only thing I don't like about this episode is the title because it doesn't really match with the episode. The Merge could have been the title of the first episode, while episode 2 could have been something like The Uncanny Element, because that's the focus of this episode, in my opinion. Episode 3, The Crossroads Carnival. This felt like a nice Rise of the Snakes episode. But instead of Baby Lloyd shouting,
It is time! Lloyd Garmadon!
we get Wannabe Nelson and Techno Girl sneaking out to win a pie contest.
You are dumb, unattractive, overweight, unworthy.
Now, it's not like condescending tone.
I actually loved the episode. And Aaron, I like Aaron, and I also like the foreshadowing a lot. Like, just look at this.
Complete the training course before I finish my tea.
You must complete the course before I finish my tea.
I burnt the tea.
Episode 4, Beyond Madness. Okay, some of you guys may like this episode, and this is my own opinion. I don't even know why YouTubers have to state that like almost every single video that they do. But this is my least favorite episode so far because the Realm of Madness just didn't feel like one. It should have been the Kingdom of Rock Monster argument because that's the impression I got. Although I felt cathartic seeing Nia return due to recency bias, I feel not that much now. It was just too fast. Only Kai should have returned. Put her in Writer's Destiny or something, I don't know. And episode 5, Writers of Destiny. This was my favorite episode so far. Oh my god, I'm even getting more hyped as I just read through this episode because it does get interesting. And yes,
Yes, Queen! Slay! Slay! Slay your enemies!
Moro has lived his time and passed. And in my opinion, episode 5 alone is what the entire Crystallized should have been.
Oh wow!
Daddy, chill.
Episode 6, Return to Imperium. This is where things start to get intense, but I also get overstimulated easily, so I had a headache just thinking about how awesome this episode was. Do you know the intensity, the sheer relatability, the resonation I have with Sora in this episode? Her backstory is basically fine.
Hold up.
Oh yeah, I just remembered.
You're not Kai.
Episode 7, Mindless Beasts. I felt Eren struggled to live up to the hype, and oh, I completely forgot about that strange monastery thing that Nia and Kai found underground.
I'm suggesting underground because they're linked to everyone. I don't know how that things work. But floating boost, we don't know that is Master Wu, we don't know that is Gamadon. I've not really seen much spoilers, but I have seen a spoiler that suggests it might be Gamadon's boost or something. I want to go too deep into that.
Episode 8, I Will Be the Danger. I apologize to everyone who can relate with Wildfire, but for me personally, she was forgettable.
Hey! My twin!
Forgettable.
Am I the villain?
I'm really sorry.
She was forgettable. She was forgettable. She was forgettable. I did not remember.
Her backstory, the only thing that made her interesting is Kai. And then the fact that she was raised by a dragon, and that was something that they had never done before. Which is a cool concept. It felt like an experimental episode, and when you watch it for the first time, you're invested. But this is not an episode that I would want to watch over and over again, even though I rate this as one of the more intelligent episodes across, let me just say, the whole franchise, because this is something they hadn't really done before. Episode 9, The Calm Inside. Does this episode make any of you guys calm? Because it definitely doesn't make me calm. The calm inside. The idea is good on paper. The execution, however, this was a useless episode. Sorry, but I even forgot Zayn was introduced at the end of the episode. Okay, let me be honest. I loved the episode. The first time I watched it. But the recency bias wore off. And yes, what that means, by the way. how exactly would I suggest fixing this episode? I have my script over here. Let me just read what I did. So to fix it, give us an actual flashback from the previous series between Lloyd and Master Wu, keeping his previous outfit. Second of all, Zane's surprises have gotten so old now, to the point that whenever an episode is about to have a shocking climax, he's the first ninja I mention. If something is happening, if a character dies, I go, oh, is it Zane? If a character has disappeared, oh, is it Zane? Who is the quiet man?
Is it Zane?
It would have been so much better if it wasn't Zane we discovered and it was a whole other random character. I was about to say Skylar, but you know, just something that just wouldn't feel like Zane. Like, instead of them discovering Zane, imagine how is the word unique. If it was Pixel who was discovered, at least Pixel, not Zane. Zane is overused, just like Lloyd. Lloyd and Zane are overused, which leads me to episode 10, the Battle of the Second Monastery. I will like this episode more once part 2 comes out, which is just the mentality that I'm carrying currently. But so far, the only thing I liked about episode 10 was Sky and Wildfire's interaction and the ending suspense with Lloyd and the Source Dragon. Hot take. I like the fact that they didn't place emphasis on Lloyd's dragon side or his only side.
Hold up.
Because I just kind of feel like if this series is going to be based on Eren and Sora, Eren should have succeeded him completely. Or again, as I suggested, Pixel. I wish Pixel. And yeah, I wish Pixel was with Eren, who would foresee that vision, while Lloyd and Zane just took the backseat for like the new series. Protecting others from Imperium, obviously, they have to be doing something because they are still important characters.
So not watermelon.
This would give Eren something to think about while Sora obsesses over her technology with. At least, Sora obsesses over her technology, so we could have Pixel being Sora's teacher just as much as Lloyd is Eren's teacher. But I already know this is wishful. Again, I'll probably like this episode more when part 2 comes out, since my final thoughts about this episode is just the word confused. Also, back to the fact that I said I'm glad that they didn't place emphasis on Lloyd's dragon and Lloyd's uniform, regardless of the season revolving around dragons. I changed my mind. Firstborn should have been referenced, and the dragons won't trust the ninjas because they sense Lloyd's only side too. I think they could have actually done something with this. Sorry, not sorry. Number 4. So finally, what do you think about dragons rising? Again, my thoughts or condescending tone is just for dramatic effect. I could actually care less about some of the nitpicky things that I said in this video. You know, honestly, I actually love the series. Just like I managed to like season 11 of the previous series. Look, season 11 is the season that everyone claims to hate from the OG series. I loved season 11, so it comes to no surprise that I liked Dragons Rising too, because it kind of felt Rise of Snakes season 11, like that type of vibe. It was something that I really liked. I guess just because of how I got introduced to Ninjago. Season 11 is my third favorite season of Ninjago. My second is the only trilogy as a whole. You can't have season 8, 9 or 10 separately because they are all basically the same thing. And my first favorite season is Seabound. The game 1 could have been my third favorite if I didn't easily forget like the second half of the season. And Possession. I've watched it too many times. 4th place, while Tournament of Power would take like the 5th place. Anyway, I'm going off topic. Ultimately, I like Dragons Rising, and for the first time, it's a show that makes a good spin of things. Unlike a certain show with a fairy of the dragon flame. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. When part 2 comes out, I might either release edits based on it or I'll review each episode individually. This is your rarest Ghanaian cartoon fanatic, Astrix going crazy.